Over to you, Tom.
Hello, good morning, everyone. It's lovely, really lovely to actually be able to see people's faces, even if we're not in the same room. And today's service is going to be fairly traditional, but not your typical hymn sandwich, since it is going to be a series of connected reflections rather than short readings leading up to a sermon. And I'll hand over to Birgitta to light the chalice.
And the chalice is matching somebody's jumper. It's purple. It's a scented one. It's and berry, and I even have some purple flowers in front of it. And just a short remark, because I just picked it up about 2 hours ago when I watched another service, and somebody said, keep your distance, but move closer to God. You can substitute God with love, faith, community, or whatever you would like to put into this place.
I'm inclined to think that when we look back and remember this last 6 or 7 months, we will remember them like no other similar period in living memory. And I wonder if the people who come after us will look at this period and say that this was a turning point in history, that this was a time when things changed forever. That this was the time when many of the freedoms, comforts, and opportunities that we took for granted were taken away from us, and we had to re-evaluate what mattered most to us, what was most precious and important in this life. That these were the days when we learned what was truly valuable, because these were the days when we gained a deeper appreciation of our connection to the natural world, of our connection to each other, and of the underlying bond of our common humanity, holding and protecting all of us in the vast diversity of creed and culture which we have created, and in all the infinite variety of the abilities and voices that we as a species embrace and express. The one unmitigated good that I am hoping will survive this coronavirus crisis is the new respect and gratitude that the nation has found for the many people, the previously unsung heroes whose underpaid and little celebrated labours have held society together and kept the rest of us serviced and supplied in good times and in bad. I rejoice in the fact that it is not only doctors and nurses that are getting the credit and praise for the performance of the NHS, but the hospital porters and cleaners too. I rejoice in the fact that the patience and endurance with which so many carry out their ordinary responsibilities and the dedication and discipline that so many who never trouble the headlines or the gossip columns bring to simply doing the job is getting some recognition. And too in the fact that I have lived to see the day when the columns of the local press, online and on paper, throughout these islands, have been printing obituaries that honour the lives of people who are not celebrities, aristocrats or royalty, but bin men and bus drivers. If we can keep this up when we get back to normal, I will be able to say, this is not normal. This is better than normal. And I hope that this celebration of the human spirit in its finest form and at its fullest expression of an imaginative sympathy that transcends social boundaries and national borders will frame and inform our worship in the days to come, that we shall flourish and rejoice in more creative and truly compassionate worship that unites the theist and the humanist as it blends the personal and the universe, the intimate and the ultimate, in the love and care for all creation. I would like to believe that the great reservoir of compassion that has been unleashed in our society by the response to the current crisis could be evidence that the amount of good in humanity is ultimately greater than the amount of evil, and that the impulse towards kindness and compassion runs deeper in the human soul and flows more freely from the human heart than does cruelty and corruption. And if the balance sometimes seems in doubt, then these are the times our prayers and blessings are most needed. For I believe that we do not live in a world where gentleness cannot flourish, and where only the shallow and the selfish can find success and satisfaction. But I cannot deny that this competitive, materialistic world is tilted in favour of the shallow and the selfish. Nor can I deny that for much of our history, the churches have been more concerned with preserving the respectability than with protecting the innocent and vulnerable. And that the sound of church bells striking for the gentle, striking for the kind, striking for the guardians and protectors of the mind, has been more often heard in the poet's imagination than in reality. But it is certainty that persecutes, not mystery. And it is also my belief that if you reduce everything to its simplest, then the only certainty that survives is the only certainty we need. And it is this, that there is more to life than this material world, and there is something beyond this material world, and there is therefore something better than selfishness in this material world. And so I continue to believe that the gentle need not fail, but may yet flourish, if those to whom the love that made this world has given a measure of contentment and of strength will take that gift of love and use their strength, use it in this world to stand beside the gentle and protect them. And our greatest chance of actually achieving that is, to contradict myself, not by speaking, but by listening. Perhaps the most surprising thing in all the released surrounding the coronavirus crisis was the fact that all of the COVID-related deaths recorded adds up to not much more than a quarter of the total recorded death because of cancer. And that in itself is a fraction of all those who died from illness or accident, in which I include those who, for whatever reason, ended their own lives, and those who went for the simple reason that they had lived for long enough and it was time for them to go. I make this statement not because I think we make too much fuss about corona-related deaths, but because we do not make nearly enough fuss about each and every death from whatever cause or for whatever reason, unless we treat death with respect and even reverence. We fail to treat life with true respect or to appreciate its amazing beauty and fragility, its delicacy and its dignity. I have a little poem that I have used in one form or another in every funeral I have ever conducted. It goes like this. A human life is holy, for it comes from God, and it returns to God. A human life is holy in its becoming. A human life is holy in its living. And a human life is holy in its dying. As a servant of one of this world's youngest spiritual traditions, and one which may justly regard itself even in these difficult times, or especially in these difficult times, as among the most positive and progressive of this world's spiritual traditions. I take my inspiration from one of the oldest of humanity's spiritual traditions. I am going to recite the Jewish prayer for the dead. I am going to say Kaddish for all who have died of any cause since last any of us met. And I will follow that with a short related poem by Rabbi Alan S. Moller. With the greatest respect and with the deepest reverence. Kaddish. May his great name grow exalted and sanctified in the world that he created as he willed. May he give reign to his kingship in your lifetimes and in your days and in the lifetimes of the entire human family, swiftly and soon. Now say, Amen. May his great name be blessed forever and ever. Blessed, praised, glorified, exalted, extolled, mighty, upraised, and lauded be the name of the Holy One. Blessed is he. Beyond any blessing and song, praise and consolation that are uttered in the world. Now say, Amen. May there be abundant peace from heaven and life upon us and upon all Israel and upon all humanity. He who makes peace in his heights, may he make peace upon us and upon all the world. Now say, Amen. Amen. There is a Hebrew proverb. Say not in grief, he is no more, but in thankfulness that he was. And now I am glad to take a break and hand over to Brigitte.
One of the loves of my life has always been history, but I was never concerned with kings and queens and the likes, but I was concerned with the ordinary people and the way ordinary people dealt with extraordinary events. And in that, I thought maybe we can learn something from that. So it came quite natural to me that when we entered the pandemic, the great flu, the Spanish flu, is a misnomer, but it's known by that throughout the history books, came to my mind. And I read quite a lot about it, researched quite a lot about it. Quite frankly, they had it worse, but that is, a Job's comforter, and I'm perfectly aware that it is. But what I've done with history was the imagining the people whom I can't see, whom I've never met, and who are somehow just, with us being human, part of the fabric of my soul and my life. So what we did at one point, we did even make a little video about it. We went into our church on the upper floor and the upper gallery, as I called it, and I imagined some voices from people who could have said that and could have felt what I assume they have felt and what it just might mean to us. So this is the upper gallery, whispering voices of unseen people. The year is 1912, the grand opening of the church. The church is full, and even the upper gallery is used. People still go to church on a Sunday, and this is a special occasion. There they sit in their Sunday best. The century is still young and full of promises. Work in this mining town is hard and dangerous, but there's plenty of it. People dream, sometimes even during the Sunday service, of a better future, of being able to afford some luxuries. Some plan a wedding or a baptism here. Some will take some comfort from the fact this is the place where they can give their loved ones a grand send-off. You see, not at all different from us. 2 years later, the picture has changed. A lot now come with a heavy heart. The menfolk are out there, somewhere, fighting for king and country. Some of the people in the church might have believed in this being a just war. Some might not have, but they all share in the same heavy heart. The war drags on for 4 long years. Some will never see this church again. All that will remain are their names on a list, and people full of memories. Finally, the war machinery runs out of steam. An armistice is declared. People become hopeful again, waiting for better times, seemingly within their reach. The war might be over, but the bad times are not. Something deadlier than anything before holds the world in its grip. People call it the Spanish flu. So it does not originate from Spain. Spain, as a neutral party during World War I, is the first country to report it. We do not know how long people are allowed to meet here in this church. People do not know that much about epidemics and pandemics then, and people just after a war are difficult to control. At one point, they will also have had their church standing empty and their streets filled with very little more than an eerie silence. The Doncaster Church was never officially closed, but a note in the minutes book for September the 16th, 1990, at the height of the second most deadly wave, noted that after average congregation of 150 plus, and that is a quote from the minutes book, present very few, and that the spring bazaar, the highlight of the church's social calendar, was cancelled. Their voices coming from these empty pews talk to us. They tell us that war and pandemics are all ultimately man-made. They understand our grief, about life and hopes lost. They know what it is to be engulfed by sadness. They feel the same. They urge us not to trust politicians, not the ones who send us to a just war, nor the ones who will always blame somebody else. They plead with us to learn, not from history books, but from the now, which is not so different from their times. Life is fragile and needs to be treasured. The life of each and every one of us. When we have learned that, their voices will fall silent. But it is the song for the people who sing in the dark. It's a German idiom. The one who sings in the dark is a person who is afraid We don't often sing because of. Maybe we should do that more often, but we sing in spite of. Because the spark of life which started with our birth is strong in each and every one of us. And the tendency that we want to be good is strong. And goodness has come out in so many people. This is the hope for the better world afterwards. And Tom has mentioned the hospital cleaners. I've fond memory of the hospital tea man, the man who pushed the tea trolley. I saw enough of hospitals, not because of COVID, but because I needed my gallbladder removing. So this year, and I mean, the tea man was a wonderful sight. And he treated you as if you were his only customer. And he must have been blessed, or is still blessed, with an extremely good memory, because he knew exactly how you wanted your tea or your coffee. And I have a very broad newsfeed on my phone. And there was something very nice which happened in Bolton, on the other side of this country recently, where somebody who just sits on a bench and waves and smiles at people since the death of his wife, which he probably hasn't overcome very well, was honored. And also it was, there was some money put towards him, and there was also his bench got replaced after it had been burned down by vandals. Let us recognize the people who smile at us and sit on park benches or sit on a bus from this time onwards. It is a good thing to have learned, to have experienced, to treasure. This is a reading by Linda Barnes, Blessings on Those Staying Home. We are staying home. Love has never asked this of us before. We are staying home. This is our gift to humanity. Let us wish each other well. For those staying home alone, I offer you this blessing. May you grow a deeper understanding of your own words. Dear one, leaven aloneness with gentle care, for this too shall pass. May you be blessed with a peace and serenity. May you find the courage to reach out, to hear another's voice, and to remember others need you too. May you be well. For so staying home together, I offer you this blessing. May you find moments of patience and grace in your relations. May you offer each other enough time apart, reassurance, space enough to cry, to safely rage, for this too shall pass. Then let peace come again into your home. May you see one another's whole self as a gift. May you be well. For those working from home, I offer you this blessing. May you remember to take breaks. May you find the means to relish your imperfection and the imperfection of others as evidence of our shared humanity. You are enough, even when there isn't enough. Make order in your days and then let it go. May you be well. For those staying home with children, I offer you this blessing. May you find humor and compassion in your days, even if your kids drive you nuts. There will be learning of a different kind, deeper, no doubt, unexpected for sure. May there be patience and forgiveness again and again and again, for this too shall pass. May you all remember the deep love that brought your family into being. May there be peace and understanding in your home. May you be well. May we be well. And if anybody has not felt included in that one, may all the unmentioned, forgotten, overlooked, and the ones who have the idea that they were never the center of attention find what they are craving for, and find it even in a deeper sense that they ever have imagined to be possible. That they feel blessed, and may all the ones who are blessed be able to be a blessing to the world.
Thank you, Brigitte. Back to me. Every year in Doncaster, we have a service of rededication during which we recite a litany of membership. It contains this passage. We do not claim to know all the answers. In the face of the great mysteries of life and death, we realize our ignorance and our limitations, not only in our worship, but in our common life together. We must strive to deepen our understanding and to give of our love. These words are even more true in the challenging conditions of today than they ever were in any previous period. Not only regarding the recognition of our limits before the great miseries of life and death, but in the strength of our commitment to deepen our understanding and to give of our love. And these words and this commitment will be even more necessary in the days to come than they ever were in the days that have gone. Not only that we ourselves in every Unitarian church might preserve our sacred space, that we might have a place to stand and a place to rest. I draw the strength to serve the common good, and that we might honour the effort, the struggle, and the sacrifice of all of those who have served the common good with courage and dedication. All those who have done their utmost to help those who are suffering and to support those who are recovering. That we might join our voices with them, with the overworked and underpaid here at time, that we might look with them upon all that has been offered and all that has been achieved, and join with them in dedication and determination, and say with them and for them, it will not be wasted. Unless we commit ourselves to the preservation of the sacred spaces in our Unitarian Church, of our spiritual home, where we may sincerely say that our churches are places where you do not have to believe in order to belong, where you do not have to believe in wisdom and mercy to receive wisdom and mercy, and you do not have to believe in God to be at home in the house of God, and you do not have to believe in prayer or your voice to be heard in the house of prayer. For in our Unitarian churches, we are not here to tell people what they have to believe, but we are here to stand with people at turning points and defining moments of their lives, to give depth and dignity to life's most important occasion. We offer an access to spirituality, to grace, to wisdom, and to the blessing of the sacred that is unconditional and unconstrained. But what we strive to offer is healing for the heart and wholeness for the soul. Healing, wholeness, and courage, and wisdom, and mercy are real and achievable, not in the next world, but in this, and not for imaginary perfect beings who have no problem, but for you and me and for all of us. For all of our flaws and failings, there is a love that frees and heals. Now freedom, reason, and love, these three abide, but the greatest of these is love. Those who have been listening may have detected a tendency towards the serious side of things, and it is one of my ways of working, to look for the serious and the sorrowful, and to find in it the glad and the joyful. And so I would like to close with my own version of the nation's favourite Christmas carol, In the Bleak Midwinter. This is my version. In the not so bleak midwinter. In the bright midwinter, sunlight stroked the snow, and the worms of heaven kissed the earth below. And God's breath, it blessed the land, and the land was free. In the bright midwinter, that is yet to be. In the bright midwinter, God's promise was revealed. No hurt would be abandoned, and no wound left unhealed. And every heart would find a home on that holy day, when the Lord of heaven gave himself away. Anger, fear, and envy faded into dust. Angels sang the praises of the gentle and the just, and the winds of mercy whispered on a drum, in the bright midwinter, in the days to come. God dreamed of a story, and the world was made. God dreamed of a melody, and the tune was played. God dreamed of a harmony, and the world was free. And the bright midwinter came to you and me. We're now going to listen and sing along to our final hymn. Hymn number 24 from the Purple Book. Come sing a song.
Come